same phone. We're back. It is 7:16, thanks to our local expert, Ron Gilbert. And you heard his expert opinion on many things. It was pretty random.
I heard him say I was bobbing for French fries.
That's what he said.
Now, I wanted to
I don't even
clarify
know what
that.
that's supposed to mean. I'll just say this about Ronnie Gilbert, is that Ronald, when I was in school, Ronald hired like every single one of my friends to run camera in the con center, so that I would have to sit around up in the balcony and be bored by myself. And I tried several times to get on the Dixon Center or Con Center crew. I tried to get on there because I too wanted to learn video production. But he would never hire me. He hired Bucky, he hired Ryan, he hired Seth. He never hired me. But the last laugh's on you, Ronald. Because who's a TV star now? That's right. It's not you, and it's not Bucky or Ryan or Seth. Plus, they all went to big, long careers doing my makeup. Oh! Is that how you ever felt? Did you ever want to say that to Seth when you worked with him?
Interesting how life has twists and turns.
Had a big, long talk on our way to
Seth Baxter,
St. Louis.
who used to be my producer at Fox when I was doing evening news at Fox, was your roommate at Lee University.
That's right. He's one of the best. I like to say that until I got April as my roommate, Seth was the best roommate that I ever had. Seth and I are extremely compatible amigos.
Yeah.
We actually had a big, long talk on the way down to
St. Louis. You had to go to a conference up there.
St. Louis about TV.
About TV.
Just in general, how brutal it is.
It is horrible.
And I was saying, Seth, listen, I could be as popular as Bill Markham, obviously. And
whatever happened to him, by the way?
Well, I don't know. He said he's like retired, making millions, doing like owning car lots or whatever. But I said I could be like Bill Markham. What do I need to do? And he walked me through the steps, which like included arrogance and him and Markham get along real well. But he was talking about the difference between a producer salary and the talent salary. And I think what's funny is when we talk about them, we say, this was my producer. It sounds like they're your boss. But they are not your boss, my friend. No. They are one step up from the McDonald's clerk. Okay, at least that's according to Seth. That's according to Seth. I've never been a news producer, but according to Seth, this is not a very glamorous. I was like, you're the producer of the news. You make it happen. And he's like, I'm not so sure you know what that means.
Seth was a good one. Seth was a good one.
Daniel, we could talk about whatever you want because there's 3 movies coming out. It's going to take us about 30 seconds to review them because you don't want to see a single one.
Really?
Right.
There's not a single winner in this bunch.
No?
What's
so we
happened
can
to
talk
Hollywood?
about whatever you want to talk about for the next few minutes because it's not going to take us too long to talk about.
Well, I'm interested in what the movies are that I don't need to waste my time or money on.
That's fine. The very first one coming out is called Mighty Mac.
Mighty Mac.
Right. You haven't
heard
of Mighty Mac.
I haven't heard it.
The
Seen
reason
the
you
trailer.
haven't heard about it is because this is the true story of a women's basketball team called the... Jeez, I don't even remember. We might need to go to commercial.
Got it on his iPhone.
Good grief.
He's got to check.
Yeah, you know what? Even though I had said I would never use this on here anymore because it makes it look like I'm checking my text messages instead of paying attention to you. But here you go. The Mighty Macs is based on the incredible true story of the 1971-72 ML Cuddle college team that started in obscurity but became the original Cinderella story in women's basketball.
Really?
The team of pioneers went from barely making that inaugural tournament to the first dynasty in their game. And Kathy Rush, who is immortalized, I guess, in this, was later inducted into the Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Here's the deal. Let me tell you this. Just the fact that women's basketball exists is a Cinderella story.
Right.
Okay?
That's true.
Nobody knows.
Except for the Vols, of course. Lady
who
Vols.
these Mighty Macs are. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nobody sits around these days and talks about the Mighty Macs, the Emil Cuddle college basketball team from 1971.
No,
so
they
whoever
talk
it
about
is
Pat
that
Summit and the Lady Vols.
yeah, whoever it is that thought this was a must-make movie, I don't know. must be a producer on the news because they don't anything.
Now, if they really wanted a hit movie, they should have made it about Pat Summitt and the Lady Vaughn.
That's
Yes.
right. Now, the only
Yes.
thing I will say that this film does have going for it is it does star David Boreanaz. I don't know what position he plays in the film.
On the ladies' team?
Yeah, I have no idea. But David Boreanaz, some of your viewers like Alan Mency will know that he played Angel in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and then later had his own TV show Angel, and is now the star of Bones on television, which is a really great show.
Yes,
And
it is.
they've
love
all
it.
been, and here's the deal, they have all been great shows, all three of those shows. So he typically makes some good television decisions, but
You know, I've never watched Bones.
Have you not? Oh, it's wonderful.
Bones is great.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, and that woman,
It's another
Zoe
medical show,
Deschanel's sister, is the star of that show. And I'm not going to lie to you when I say that that's a pretty fine-looking woman.
Oh, well, I'll have to check it out.
She plays
I'll
like
tune in.
a autistic, she's not autistic, but Asperger's genius atheist woman. You know, and it's sort of like, you're not sure, you know, what's this woman all about? But solving crime. Okay. That's what she's about.
Very good.
The second film you don't care about is The Three Musketeers, starring no one you've ever heard.
Okay.
And the last thing we needed was another Three Musketeers film.
I did see
There
the
you go.
trailer on that. It looks like tremendous special effects, and that's about
I
it.
don't know. This stars Logan Lerman.
Don't know who
You
that
remember
is.
him from nothing else.
Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, Logan Lerman probably plays that fourth Musketeer kid that's always trying to get on the team.
Well, now,
Yeah,
isn't
it
this
could-
the one where there's a woman?
Yeah, Mila Jovovich.
So she's now a musketeer?
She was.
She wants to be a musketeer.
She probably wants. Listen, I don't know.
Eh.
I have trouble bringing sexual equality to the Three Musketeers.
Uh,
I do. I just
I
do.
agree
I
with
don't
that.
want you to
I
take
don't-
offense to this.
I don't, because I don't think there needs to be a woman musketeer.
Right,
I
because
agree,
there
because
doesn't need to
it's-
be a woman musketeer, and there doesn't need to be another Three Musketeers film. Listen,
Agreed.
back when Charlie Sheen and Oliver Platt and those guys did the Three Musketeers, they should have stopped because it's not going to get better than that.
yeah, that
all
was
those
funny.
guys were in their heyday.
It was good, yeah.
Now, this one people may care about, just not me.
Uh-huh.
And I speak for Ryan if he were here, which he's homesick, by the way.
Oh, too bad, Ryan.
Sorry,
I
Ryan.
speak for Ryan, though, in saying that if he were here, he would also give this film a hate, and that is Paranormal Activity 3. Is coming out.
Paranormal.
Now, you may remember the other Paranormal Activities because these are the stories of people in their house that experience weird things. So the husband sets up cameras in his home to begin catching things and start seeing doors slam and pieces of paper move around. And they never, ever tell you what it is.
Throughout the
You
whole
know,
movie.
there's nothing. You know there's something there. You know it's probably not your friend since it's scratching your wife and making her scared.
There you go.
But you don't know what it is. Now, this may change that. This may finally be the one where they say, look, this is what the Paranormal Activity thing is. But I typically like my horror films a little smarter. I don't like them to be 2 hours of the door slammed. I like that. I like films that use that sort of element to scare me.
Yes.
Because I think that the most scary things in films are the things that can happen at home.
Yes.
Now, this is why the original film was so wildly successful, is because it really spent about the first hour with things that you're thinking, well, was that real or was that not? And that kind of gets your brain running. You know,
But
I
I
thought I
remember-
shut the cupboard door.
Yeah, I remember
but maybe
watching
it's
the
not.
first one and thinking, okay, we need to move on. We need to. Okay,
That's
the door-
right. That's
yeah.
the problem. Is
Yeah,
that it
we need to
doesn't
move on.
ever
We need to
move
go.
on to anything. And I think as a franchise, I mean, it'll draw crowds. Don't get me wrong. We're getting close to Halloween.
Yeah.
But is this really something that Dan the Notebook Hal wants to see?
I won't go see it.
I don't think it is.
I don't see horror. I don't watch horror movies anyway. I just don't care for the genre.
Now, I will say
And
that.
normally I don't either, but my kids wanted me to watch that
Yeah.
one. And so I did, but I remember about halfway through, I was like, okay, we need to do something. And then the thing jerked her out of bed and drug her down the hall. And okay, I remember
that's
going,
sort of
oh,
what's
okay.
a little bit strange about this film.
yeah.
What's strange about the film is that the husband really doesn't seem to be a very good husband.
No.
He starts the film by just simply not believing her. None of these things are happening.
Yeah.
And then he kind of puts up a camera and starts going, wow, look how cool I am that I caught this on film. And he sort of misses the point that this thing is really provoking his wife in a way that most men would put the house up for sale. This guy is like on some sort of a treasure hunt. I can tell you this. First of all, you may or may not know this. I live in a house that was once haunted.
Yeah?
Okay.
I did not know
I live
that.
on 8th Street, my house, old, haunted. I'm not afraid to say that on television.
Really?
That's how haunted it was. Okay.
Have you set up
Yes.
cameras and stuff yet?
Everybody knows. No, this is what I'm saying. This is why I'm a better husband.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you what happened one day. We have time for this. Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. I'm glad we got through those, so I can tell you the story of my haunted home.
Okay.
When April and I first moved into this house, we moved off of the farm and into downtown. There were all sorts of things. We would hear children laughing, and we would hear bouncing around and footsteps and such. Okay. So my wife at that time was doing a lot of trainings for work, and she was gone to Murfreesboro for a training. And I'm going to tell you the difference between the paranormal activity guy and me. Is that as soon as she left, I kind of walked around the house, and I got on the steps of my home. You know, right now at home there's like a ton of people cringing, like Alderman's gone off the deep end. Look, this happened. I can't help it. I can't help that this happened. I promised you transparency when I took this gig, and that's what I'm doing. So anyway, I got on the steps that go upstairs to our attic. And I kid you not when I say one day we were sitting there and we heard this like out of nowhere. And keep in mind, we're young, we have no kids yet.
Yeah.
We hear this bouncing noise, and all of a sudden like this ball rolls out like it had come down the steps. And we're not upstairs, we're downstairs.
This actually
Who
happened.
threw the ball down the steps? Yeah, April will tell you this happened. So here's the difference between me and the paranormal activity guy. I get on the steps, and I stand halfway up the steps. She's gone to the training, and I said, listen, you thing, whatever you may be, I don't know what you are, but you need to knock this junk off because you are scaring my wife. And if you scare my wife, I promise we're going to move. And I don't know what kind of people are going to move in after us. I said, they may ruin the walls. They may put in weird carpet. You don't know what they're going to do. As long as I live here, you know you're going to have a cool family. I really did this.
Did you really?
So I said, so you, listen, if I'm around and you want to make spooky noises, that's cool. I'm a dude, and as long as you don't touch me or make me see a door slam, I'm going to be okay with the noises. But around my wife, you cannot do this. You must stop. I am perfectly willing to co-inhabit this domicile with you, but do not scare my wife. That is an ultimatum. I will move. I was like, I know I just bought this house, but I will move out of this house. And I said that, and then I probably followed it up with like, you know, I'll go get all the pastors in town to come in here and pray and throw holy oil
Do an exorcism.
or something, right? You know, I'm not afraid to do that.
Oh,
dude. I will
no.
do that.
Yeah.
So I said that, and I kid you not, man. That thing, whatever it was, never messed again.
No more balls.
Really?
So
rolling down.
it's still up there in the attic, or at least, you know, it can be if it wants. Maybe it moved on. Maybe it said, enough of this. This dude is crazy. But maybe it's up there, but it just sneaky tiptoe. It
Oh
doesn't.
my!
Doesn't
You
throw
got
balls.
your
Doesn't
own-
throw balls
Roll
down the
the
steps.
ball down.
Because I promise you, man, when that ball came down the steps, April looked at me and said, we're leaving. We're moving. And I said, you heard that, right,
Yeah.
Mr. Scary Ghost? That's why paranormal activity doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. I don't know if the timing
I've heard
is probably
rumors
time
about
to go.
where I work at the courthouse annex. Now that's an old building,
Yeah, everybody says
1911.
that one's. And
But-
listen, I had an office in the Craig Miles Hall, and if you don't think that thing's haunted,
Yeah.
dude, there's a reason renting there's $200.
Yeah.
Trust me. There's a reason. I looked at office space in there not really long ago, and the lady was practically throwing it at me. She was like, you know, just whatever you can spare. Give me that sandwich
Yeah.
you got in your hand, and $50. We'll move you there.
Well, Halloween's coming. Going to be a lot of fun. Of course, the block party coming up
Yes.
the 31st.
Yeah.
Halloween day. You got to Halloween night. You got to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're out of time. It's Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Don't forget the game tonight. Cleveland and Bradley going to be playing.
Hey, oh, and by the way, really quickly at that game, the field across from the stadium
Yes.
is going to be open for parking, courtesy of Life Care, for a $5 donation to the Alzheimer's Association.
There you go.
Give
You
money.
you can park right across from the
There
stadium.
you go. Keep that in mind. We've got to go. We're out of time. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday.